Have you ever thought about living in a place where your body is controlled by rules and laws, where the clothes you wear not only reflect your style, but are imposed by strict regulations? In some of these places, going out alone without the permission of a man can be dangerous, and refusing a marriage may have serious consequences, even severe punishments. In today's video, you will discover 13 surprising facts about the lives of Muslim women. The clothes worn by Muslim women go beyond just style. They carry meanings related to religion and culture. In many places, it is mandatory to follow specific rules, such as wearing the hijab, niqab, or burqa, pieces of clothing that cover the hair, body, and in some cases, the face. This is seen as part of Islamic customs. However, it is not always a choice. In countries like Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Afghanistan, laws require women to dress modestly, and disobeying these rules can lead to serious consequences. For example, a woman may be approached by the police if she is not wearing the hijab or clothes deemed appropriate. Penalties range from warnings and fines to imprisonment. Additionally, social pressure is very strong. In conservative communities, not following these rules can lead to isolation, threats, and even family conflicts. Often, the families themselves reinforce these rules, believing that it is necessary to preserve honor and maintain traditions. Many Muslim countries, forced marriages are still a reality for many women. From an early age, some girls are promised to men they have never met, with the choice of husband being made by the parents without their input. Refusing an arranged marriage is difficult due to the enormous family and cultural pressure they face. These marriages often happen while they are still teenagers, meaning many drop out of school to become wives and mothers before reaching adulthood. This can lead to difficulties in relationships and limitations for the future of these young women. Attempting to resist a forced marriage can have severe consequences. Some women face threats or are subjected to harsh punishments. In certain communities, the concept of honor is so ingrained that families feel obligated to marry off their daughters, even against their will. In many Muslim countries, women face severe restrictions on their freedom of movement. They can only leave home or go to certain places with the permission of a male family member, such as a father, brother, or husband. In Saudi Arabia, for example, it is necessary to have this authorization to travel, work, or even go to the doctor. To visit public places like stores, schools, or relatives, it is common for them to need to be accompanied by a male relative. In some regions, women are not allowed to drive, making them even more dependent on men for transportation. If they are caught traveling alone or leaving without permission, they may be punished with reprimands, fines, or even imprisonment, depending on the situation. These restrictions deeply affect daily life, limiting opportunities to study, work, and enjoy moments of freedom, causing many women to live under constant control. Among Muslim women, customs related to purity are an important part of their routine, holding both religious and cultural significance. From an early age, girls are taught about the importance of purity, which goes beyond physical hygiene and also includes spiritual and moral aspects. One of the most well-known rituals is ghusl, a full-body wash performed at specific times, such as before important prayers or special occasions. This ritual is seen as a way to purify the body and mind, preparing the individual to be in a state of purity before God. The use of the veil, such as the hijab or niqab, is also connected to this idea of purity. By covering the body and hair, women protect their modesty and maintain a posture that reflects respect for community traditions and values. For many, the veil is not just a religious practice, but also a way to preserve privacy and express devotion. In Muslim culture, a woman's appearance is often reserved only for those within her family. Even with a hijab or niqab, which covers the hair and much of the body in public, this does not mean that women do not care about their own beauty. In fact, they spend a lot of time on self-care. At home, away from external eyes, many women take care of their skin with natural exfoliants, moisturizers, and even advanced treatments. The use of oils and hair masks, nail painting, and elaborate hairstyles are also common. Henna is widely used to create detailed designs on the hands and feet for special occasions. In addition, they often wear elegant and stylish clothes at home, challenging the idea that they do not care about fashion just because they wear the veil in public. In some Muslim societies, disobeying the husband can have extremely severe consequences. Women can be punished for actions such as refusing sexual relations, leaving the house without permission, or not meeting the husband's expectations regarding childcare. In some situations, this goes far beyond a domestic dispute. There are cases where women may be taken to court or even imprisoned for not following the husband's wishes. In certain countries, laws allow husbands to file formal accusations against their wives, and the judicial system often favors men, women. Often, a husband's word is enough for a woman to face detention or sentencing. This reality causes many women to live in constant fear of displeasing their husbands, as the consequences can be severe. Their freedom is very limited, as any misstep can result in harsh punishments. In many Muslim communities, women face inequality when it comes to inheritance. According to Islamic law, they generally receive a smaller share than men. For example, when a father dies, male children may receive twice as much as the daughters. This difference is explained by religious interpretations that state men are responsible for financially supporting the family. However, this practice creates a significant disparity, especially in families where women depend on inheritance to survive. Moreover, in some cultures, women are pressured to give up their rightful share in favor of their brothers, which further exacerbates this inequality. In many cases, they are left with few resources to care for themselves and their children, while the men in the family receive the bulk of the assets. Although there are movements seeking more equality in these contexts, breaking these traditions remains a major challenge. Have you ever wondered how Muslim women dress at the beach? Contrary to what many may imagine, they do not wear traditional bikinis or swimsuits. Instead, they opt for a garment called a burkini, which covers almost the entire body, leaving only the face, hands, and feet visible. The name burkini comes from the combination of burqa and bikini, and this garment was created to allow them to enjoy the beach and the sea without compromising their cultural values. However, wearing the burkini is not always simple. In some regions, women who choose this attire face curious stares and sometimes even negative comments, as it is a style quite different from what most are used to seeing. Nevertheless, many continue to stand firm, balancing their traditions with the desire to have fun and relax at the beach. Polygamy and divorce in the context of Islam are topics that spark much curiosity and discussion, especially because they are quite different from the practices of other cultures. Polygamy, for example, is allowed but follows very specific rules. A man can have up to 4 wives, but this is only permitted if he can treat all of them equally. This means he must provide the same level of sustenance, attention, and emotional care for each of them. This requirement makes the practice more complex than it might appear. If he is unable to meet these conditions, polygamy is not recommended. Despite these rules, many women face social or family pressures to accept polygamous marriages, even when they do not agree with the situation. In some communities, polygamy is still seen as something common, which can make it difficult for a woman who wishes to oppose this practice. As for divorce, Islam allows both men and women to end a marriage, but there are differences in the processes. For men, divorce can be declared directly, but the religion encourages this to happen only as a last resort after attempts at reconciliation. For women, the process may be more complicated. In many cases, they need to take the matter to a religious court and present valid reasons, such as abandonment or mistreatment. In some countries, women face even more barriers to exercising this right. One specific type of divorce in Islam is khula, in which a woman requests a separation by returning the dowry she received at marriage. While this option allows for the dissolution of the marriage, it also reflects how the process may require concessions from women. In many parts of the world, many Muslim girls and women face significant difficulties in accessing education. In some communities, there is a belief that a woman's primary responsibility is to take care of the home and family, which causes female education to be overlooked. The lack of nearby schools or schools that offer security also makes it difficult for these girls to attend school. Additionally, financial issues play a significant role. Many families must choose who will study, and boys are usually prioritized. Some girls are forced into marriage at a very young age, which interrupts their education and reduces their future opportunities. Other factors, such as concerns for safety on the way to school and the absence of female teachers, also influence parents to opt not to send their daughters to school. The lack of access to education has a profound impact on these women's lives. Without education, they have fewer chances of getting good jobs, which increases their financial dependence and reduces their participation in family and community decisions. Additionally, education is essential for them to understand their rights, take better care of their health, and provide a better future for themselves and their children. In Muslim culture, it is common for women to face restrictions regarding the use of striking makeup or strong perfumes in public. These practices are discouraged because they may be seen as a way of attracting unwanted attention, especially from men. Makeup that is too bold, for example, is often interpreted as an attempt to highlight one's appearance, something considered inappropriate in public spaces. Therefore, many women prefer to maintain a more discreet appearance outside of the home, reserving elaborate looks for special occasions or private settings. The same applies to perfumes. While in other cultures, perfume is a way of expressing personal style. In some Muslim communities, very intense fragrances may be misinterpreted as an effort to stand out. For this reason, it is more common for women to choose mild scents or even avoid wearing perfume when they go out in public. Muslim women face many obstacles when it comes to practicing sports, but this does not stop them from achieving great success in this field. In many countries, they have to deal with strict rules about clothing and behavior in public, which can make it more difficult to engage in sports. Despite this, many women manage to overcome these barriers and even stand out in competitions, both local and international. To do so, they often adapt their sports uniforms to meet their religious beliefs. This may include wearing sports hijabs, clothes that cover the entire body, or even specific attire for water sports. These adaptations show that it is possible to find solutions that respect their faith without giving up on sports. The participation of Muslim women in sports is growing more and more. In several countries, initiatives have encouraged girls and women to engage in sports activities, demonstrating that following their beliefs and being a prominent athlete are not incompatible goals. Now I'm going to share a curiosity that might surprise you. In many Muslim communities, women have restrictions when it comes to interacting or socializing with men who are not family members. There are clear rules to protect their privacy and reputation. In countries like Saudi Arabia, for example, it is common for women to avoid being alone with men who are not close relatives, such as co-workers, neighbors, or family friends. When these interactions do happen, they are usually in public spaces and with other people nearby. If a woman is seen alone with a man outside of this circle, it could lead to gossip, criticism, and even damage to her reputation. Additionally, it is common for women to be advised to wear clothes that cover most of their body in the presence of men who are not from their family. This practice goes beyond tradition. It is also a way to avoid misunderstandings and maintain their dignity within cultural standards. These norms end up affecting the social and professional lives of these women, as they must constantly be aware of society's expectations. Something as simple as talking or working alongside a man can become a delicate situation where everything must be done with great care to not cross the boundaries set by the culture. Have you ever thought about how Muslim women are making space for themselves in politics and taking on leadership roles around the world? This shift is breaking barriers and showing that with determination, it is possible to challenge expectations. Benazir Bhutto, for example, made history by becoming the first woman to hold the position of prime minister in a Muslim country. She led Pakistan during times of great instability, facing not only political challenges but also prejudice for being a woman in a position of power. Her journey is still remembered today as a symbol of courage and resilience. On the other side of the world, in the United States, Ilhan Omar has become one of the most well-known faces of the new generation of Muslim leaders. Elected to Congress, she represents a community that had long been marginalized in American politics. In addition to fighting for social rights, her presence in the political scene challenges stereotypes and paves the way for other women to follow in her footsteps. And this is where the video ends. Which of these curiosities did you find most surprising? Please share your thoughts on Muslim women in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that's appearing on your screen now. I'm sure you'll enjoy the content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.